All right, let's get right into it. The first phase of the AI boom, that kind of gold rush frenzy, well, that's officially over. And we are now entering a much more critical phase.
That's right. It's not about the magic anymore. The market is starting to ask some really tough questions. A huge selection process has begun, and it's starting to separate the real, sustainable companies from the ones that were just riding the hype train.
And look, here is the absolute bottom line. Right up front, the entire AI software sector is being put under a microscope, and its immediate future, where it goes next, literally hangs on a single number that's coming out this Friday. We're going to break down exactly what that is and why it's so incredibly important.
So first up, let's talk about this great AI selection and how it's actually playing out in the market right now, because it is creating a massive divide.
You can see the split so clearly right here. On one side, you've got the hardware companies, the NVIDIAs, the Broadcoms. They're selling the picks and shovels for this AI gold rush. Investors see them as the stable, essential backbone. But then you look at the other side, AI software. And that's where all the pain is. That whole sector is getting hammered because investors are getting really nervous about whether they can actually make money.
So, what's going on here? Why this sudden crisis of confidence in AI software? Why is everyone getting so nervous all of a sudden? This quote from Deutsche Bank just nails it. We've officially moved from the magical future phase to the, okay, show me the money phase. The conversation is no longer about what AI could do one day, it's about what it's doing right now to actually make a profit. And in this new environment, you're going to have some very clear winners and some very clear losers.
These are the questions the market is firing at every single AI software company. Is that billion-dollar investment you made paying off? Are you a real winner, or are you about to get wiped out? How do you prove you're not just some cool feature that a giant tech company could build over a weekend? You know, the days of just saying AI and watching your stock price go up, yeah, those are over.
So all this uncertainty, it's all building up to a single moment this week. Everything is pointing to one day, Friday.
I mean, look at the week's calendar. Yeah, there's stuff happening, but everything is really just an opening act for Friday. That's when we get the two big reports, the GDP numbers, and the really big one, the PCE deflator data. So what the heck is the PCE deflator? Put simply, it's the inflation number that the Federal Reserve obsesses over. Forget the CPI that gets all the media headlines. This is the gauge they use to decide what to do with interest rates.
And here's the chain reaction. It's so critical to understand this. That PCE number comes out and boom, the market instantly changes its mind about when the Fed might cut interest rates. That in turn makes long-term rates jump or fall. And those interest rates are the direct ingredient Wall Street uses to figure out what a high-growth AI software stock is worth. So if inflation is hot, rates stay high, and the value of those stocks gets crushed. It's a direct line from this one report straight to your portfolio.
All right, so this brings us to the mood in the market right now. And if you just kind of glanced at the headlines, you might think things are pretty calm. But trust me, underneath the surface, it's anything but.
I mean, just take a look at the major indexes. The S&P, the Nasdaq, barely a flicker. 0.1% here and there. It looks like a completely boring, sleepy day in the market. But that is a classic head fake.
The real story isn't in those numbers. The real story, the real feeling of the market, it comes down to just one number. And that number is 20.31.
That's the VIX, the market's fear index. And anytime that number gets above 20, it's a major warning sign. It signals real anxiety among investors. This is not a calm market. This is a market that's tense, holding its breath, and just waiting for Friday's news to drop.
Okay, so we've established the AI market is splitting, the pressure is on software, and Friday is basically Judgment Day. So what does this all mean for you? What should you be doing right now?
Here's the game plan, and the number one theme is patience. The basic stance, just watch. Don't make any big sudden moves before we get that data on Friday. If you already own these stocks, now is a great time to take a hard look at your software names, while the hardware side looks a lot more stable. If you're thinking about buying, just wait. Let Friday's news give you a clearer signal. And if you're sitting on cash, well, this is a perfect week to keep doing just that.
The main takeaway is really simple. In a week like this, where so much is riding on one single data point, sometimes the smartest move is to make no move at all. Let the dust settle. Let the market figure out what it wants to do. Then you can act with a lot more clarity.
So the great AI shakeout isn't some theory for the future, it is happening right now. It's going to create some massive winners and frankly, leave a lot of others behind. And this Friday, we get the next huge clue as to how it's all going to play out. The only real question left is your portfolio ready for it?